This is TechCrunch.
Instacart will pay $60 million in refunds to settle allegations by the U.S. Federal Trade Commission that it deceived consumers with false advertising. The federal agency alleged Instacart misled consumers with unlawful tactics, causing them to pay higher fees while also denying refunds. The Federal Trade Commission stated Instacart's free delivery claims are misleading because customers are still required to pay a mandatory service fee, which can add up to 15% to their total order. The agency also said the delivery platform's 100% satisfaction guarantee promise is false because it implies it will provide full refunds when consumers are not fully satisfied with their orders, which is typically not the case when people receive late deliveries or unprofessional service. Additionally, the FTC claimed Instacart hid the refund option from the self-service menu that consumers use to report problems with their orders, making people believe they could only get a credit toward a future order rather than a refund. Instacart also failed to clearly disclose terms relating to the Instacart Plus membership enrollment process, the agency said. The sign-up process for the free trial of the subscription service did not disclose consumers would be charged once the trial ended, which allowed Instacart to charge people without their informed consent. The FTC said these consumers will be receiving refunds as a result of the settlement. Christopher Mufferidge, director of the FTC's Bureau of Consumer Protection, said, "The FTC is focused on monitoring online delivery services to ensure that competitors are transparently competing on price and delivery terms." Instacart acknowledged the settlement in a blog post and denied any allegations of wrongdoing. The company also said it believes the foundation of the FTC's inquiry was fundamentally flawed. The settlement comes as Instacart is currently under fire over a recent study that revealed its AI-powered pricing tool is causing some customers to receive different prices for the same items at the same stores. Instacart responded to the controversy by stating that retailers determine their own prices and any pricing tests conducted through its AI tool are random and not influenced by user data. Reuters reported on Wednesday the FTC has begun an investigation into the delivery platform's AI pricing tool. Pickle Robot, which builds autonomous unloading robots for warehouses and distribution centers, announced a new chief financial officer just days after a report of a major deal with UPS. The Charlestown, Massachusetts-based company announced that it hired Jeff Evanson as its CFO on Thursday. Evanson had been consulting for the company since September and recently joined full-time. Evanson previously served as the Vice President of Global Investor Relations and Strategy at Tesla from 2011 to 2017. In that role, he worked directly with Elon Musk and helped the company raise debt and equity financing to support the launch of multiple Tesla vehicle lines and company acquisitions. Evanson will be Pickle's first CFO and joins as the company, founded in 2018 with around $100 million in venture capital raised, reportedly expands its partnership with shipping giant UPS. According to Bloomberg, UPS is investing $120 million to purchase 400 of Pickle's robots, with deployment beginning in late 2026 and early 2027. Pickle declined to comment on this week's UPS news. A Pickle spokesperson did confirm that UPS has been a Pickle customer for a few years, but wouldn't confirm when the partnership started. Apple on Wednesday released an updated developer license agreement that gives the company permission to recoup unpaid funds, such as commissions or any other fees, by deducting them from in-app purchases it processes on developers' behalf, among other methods. The change will impact developers in regions where local law allows them to link to external payment systems. In these cases, developers must report those payments back to Apple to pay the required commissions or fees. The changed agreement seemingly gives Apple a way to collect what it believes is the correct fee if the company determines a developer has underreported their earnings. Apple's policies in this area are complex, but the change could impact developers in markets like the EU, US, and now Japan, where developers using external payment systems may be required to pay Apple varying fees or commissions depending on local law. In the US, the legality of these commissions is still being disputed. A federal appeals court earlier this month ruled that a district court should consider allowing Apple to collect some commission, though possibly not the full 27% fee it previously charged. In its new developer agreement, Apple states it will offset or recoup what it believes it is owed, including any amounts collected by Apple on your behalf from end users. This means Apple could recoup funds from developers' in-app purchases, like those for digital goods, services, and subscriptions, or from one-time fees for paid applications. Additionally, Apple notes that it has the right to collect this money at any time and from time to time, meaning developers could face surprise deductions if Apple believes they've miscalculated what they owe. The agreement doesn't specify how Apple will determine whether it's owed money. The types of developer payments that vary over time are limited and include commissions, fees, and taxes. Among these is the core technology fee in the EU, which currently costs 50 cents for each first annual install exceeding 1 million in the past 12 months. In January 2026, Apple will transition from the CTF to a new fee called the Core Technology Commission, a more complicated percentage-based fee. Apple will collect the CTC from apps that use external payment methods or are distributed under its alternative business terms for the EU. The updated developer agreement also gives Apple the right to collect unpaid amounts from any affiliates, parents, or subsidiaries related to the account that owes money. In practical terms, that means Apple could collect the money from developers' other apps or from apps published by a parent company. These changes are detailed in Schedules 2 and 3, Section 3.4, which focuses on the delivery of applications to end users. These are not the only modifications to the agreement. Apple is also introducing sections devoted to its age assurance technology, new terms for iOS apps in Japan, and other requirements. Of interest, Apple is defining requirements for voice-based assistants, like AI chatbots, that are activated via the side button on the iPhone and is banning recordings made without user awareness. This includes audio and video recordings, as well as screen recordings, which are often used by developers to identify issues users face when navigating apps or to locate bugs. To be clear, Apple isn't banning these recordings outright. The company simply added language that says, "Your application may not be designed to facilitate recordings of others without their awareness." How Apple will interpret that rule remains to be seen. That's it from TechCrunch. For more stories like these, go to TechCrunch.com